Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 1v1 in Stalingrad. That's right, the fields of Stalingrad. Our heroes today are going to be Romeo, playing as the US forces in the blue, and you may have seen it there in the chat, his opponent in the red, playing for the OKW army, is going to be none other than VindicareX. VindicareX, one of the greats. Speaking about our players, let's talk about them a little bit. Duh. Vindicare, at the time of casting this, currently holds the #1 spot for OKW 1v1. #1 player, OKW, right now. A couple highlights there. He's ranked 4th for his Soviet, ranked 3rd for his Austere, and 22nd for his US, so I guess it's, not his forte, but come on, 22nd is still just ridiculously good. But #1 OKW player right here. Romeo, for his part on his US forces that we are seeing right now, is ranked 49th, so he's no scrub himself, but he does have quite a bit of an uphill battle in his hands. So, Stalingrad, we actually, I don't think, have casted a single game in this map just yet, so it's an interesting one to look at. It is very close, very short. I mean, you see the map here, but you can see the distance between the points. They are very close together. The layout is quite basic. 4 strategic points outside of your base, with everything spread out in the middle. Fuel points on the edges, over here. Munitions in the center, with the victory points just spread across in 3 centers. So there you go. Build order-wise, we see Romeo getting himself Rifleman, which is the staple, usually what you do. He's got 2 on the field now, with a 3rd one coming up. And for Vindicare, he decides to go for a Volksgrenadier squad, but not before getting a 2nd Storm Pioneer squad. Storm Pioneers are quite excellent. They are very powerful and deadly at close quarters. So if one army would be building multiple units of their, worker, quote-unquote, class, it would be the OKW. So interestingly enough, VindicareX decides to go and lay down some wire here to potentially deny some heavy cover, but then turns his truck around as he used it to survey the battlefield a little bit and crushes the actual cover. Storm Pioneers on the right-hand side getting surrounded very quickly by 3 squads, 2 rifles, and a rear echelon squad, forced to retreat. They are very good at fighting at close quarters, but they will not win an engagement like that. Volksgrens were also nearby to support, but they decided to be used to cap for the meantime, going for the victory point. Rifleman squads closing in on the Volksgrens at a close distance. The rifles will win against the Volksgrens. However, they are just moving around right now, taking a little bit of unnecessary fire, but now they stop for the focus fire with the 3rd squad moving in to support. Right-hand side, the rear echelon squad getting torn down here by the Storm Pioneers. Can he make it out? Down to 1 man, barely makes it out of there. The wall here actually created a shot blocker, and we see one of the few buildings in this map that can be garrisoned gets garrisoned by the Storm Pios as they notice that Rifleman squads are running in their direction. Rifleman squad in an excellent position as they have themselves a heavy cover there against the Storm Pios. One of the squads vaults over, both of them actually vault over as the Storm Pios exit through the back door. They pop back in to be able to inflict some damage, as their assault rifles will be able to inflict very, very good damage even at that distance. But the squads will be fine. They will not be taken by surprise as far as death goes. So while more things come onto the field, like I was saying before, I mean, the map itself, you see it's a very urban feeling map, but most of the buildings are just destroyed, torn down. So you have few buildings, just spread across the center that can actually be garrisoned. And most of them are already pretty battered. As you can see, this building is less than half health. So rifle squads decide to just tank the damage here from the Storm Pioneers as they exit through the back door. Down to 1 man, barely makes it out of there. Rifle squad's also chasing down the 2nd Storm Pio squad that was engaging the rear rifle squad, and both squads are forced to retreat. Romeo in a very strong position here. He has, well, can't really say map control because it's pretty much spread out even, but he has pushed those forces out and has a lot of troops on the field. Right-hand side fuel is currently in control for Vindicare, but Romeo will be putting an end to that. And the left-hand side is also for Vindicare as he moves his Volksgrens just to capture territory. But yeah, look, very nice looking map. I mean, you can see it right there. Like I said, very nice urban field, but most buildings are not garrisonable. Can we actually take a survey of how many they are? There's one over here, but I'm pretty sure you can't actually get into that one. Let's see, we have this building over here, which is actually quite fine. This one is not. We have these two here. They're actually both fine, so very nice positions there to defend, put MGs and such. Right hand side, we have not much. We hear an engagement over on the left hand side. Volksgren's actually taking precedence there in that house that we mentioned. We do have a lieutenant now on the field for Romeo, and with that he is able to get himself a 50 cal machine gun from his tier 1 essentially, which is this. And yeah, I mean, the lieutenant is quite excellent. It comes equipped with bars, or well, 1 bar I believe only. Let's double check the squad here. Let's take a look at him. It does have a Thompson submachine gun on the lieutenant himself, which is very good at the close quarters. And yeah, 1 bar, so, you know, not incredible firepower, but quite a difference there from a standard rifle squad, and helps out immensely. Volksgren squad popping once again into that house, or actually that's a different house, but anyways, 2 men are only able to fire there, so it does limit the firepower of the squad. Although these guys looks like they actually do have an angle, so Volksgren squad is able to fire back, but it'll take a while there to dislodge them. Rear echelon squad moving over to the left-hand side. We now have a Puma on the field for VindicareX as he goes for the mechanized regiment headquarters. So no battle group headquarters for him so far. Lieutenant forced to retreat down to 3 men, makes it out alive very easily. Volksgrens are not very good at killing units off on the retreat. And by that I mean, you know, chasing them down to kill them. Rear echelon squad trying to hold the position here and capture the point. The Volksgrens get right on top of them, but the rear echelon squad actually doing a decent job at engaging the Volksgrens, bring them down to 3 men. It's now a 3-on-3 battle, and they are just shooting themselves at close range. The rear echelon squad does have a faster rate of fire with their carbines. However, the Volksgrens are a little bit tougher and more trained than the rear echelons, and they end up winning that engagement. Right hand side, the 50 cal machine gun does get pushed away by the Puma. Vindicare very active with this Puma. Storm Pyro squad moving over to the right hand side, not going for the fuel being ignored so far. He's pushing forward, going to engage the rifle squad that is now coming up against them. Storm Pyros force them away as the Puma also gets in some damage. Again, I will say the Puma is not the best against infantry. It does get some kills, it, you know, helps out, but it is not designed as an anti-infantry vehicle. As much as people want to yell at me that they are good, yes, they're probably good, but they're not designed against it. Rifle squad gets a nice rifle nade, or anti-tank rifle grenade on the Puma. The Puma gets its engine damage, but it is well on its way to get back to base, and with the regiment headquarters right up in the front, it'll be able to get repaired very quickly. Right-hand side, Storm Pioneer squad engaging the lieutenant and a rifle squad is forced to retreat. Will make it out. It's a very tough squad, and these guys, once again, well, actually, ooh, they actually get caught in the truck there. They are now behind the lines. The lieutenant does have the ability, well, not the ability, but has more potential to shoot them down with the bar rifle equipped. The lieutenant is now dead, but with, yeah, there goes the Storm Pyro squad. Nice pickup there for Romeo. Manages to get a kill there. Center map rifle squad getting away from a Storm Pyro squad, but we are now down to only 1 and 2 Volksgrens. So VindicareX playing a very low unit count game. Do we have anything getting produced here? No. Again, you have to check down here if something is getting produced, like say the lieutenant or the major, because it doesn't show up in the top side, even though it is a unit. 50 cal machine gun over on the left-hand side sets itself up in that big house, managing to cover a very nice angle, forces away the Raketen-Werfer, and, well, away it goes. Volksgrens moving down to the lines. Storm Pyro moving over to the right-hand side. The Puma, once again, with a damaged engine. Not sure if it just came out like that or if it got rifled again. I can't see because the rifle squad is retreating, but it does have a damaged engine. Storm Pyro squad trying to knock down the rifle squad, but again, as you can tell, the Puma not the best against infantry. Rifle squad is able to make it out of there alive. Volksgrens may be able to execute it, but no, it looks like they're gonna just move away and they'll be fine. Romeo moving over on the left-hand side with his rifles. He's got an echelon squad, 50 cal machine gun in the house just to defend the entire area. So the left-hand side seems to be more favorable here for Romeo. Also, as far as doctrine selection, we see that Vindicare has selected the Elite Armor Doctrine. This does not provide him the the Tiger Ace, like the Austere. It provides him, however, with a veteran Panzer IV combat group call-in. So you can call in 2 Panzer Force at the same time. Oh, a nasty grenade goes down by the Volkskrans on top of the rifle squad and wipes it out completely. They were on the other side of the cover, so they absorbed all the damage. And down goes the full squad. Rifle squad, rear echelon squad, everything forced to retreat. We have the Puma pushing forward with support from the Volkskrans. We have rifle squads, 2 in total, with a captain and the lieutenant pushing forward. The Puma does have a damaged engine. The rifle squads are pushing forward. The Volkskrans squad is forced to retreat. They continue to push forward. They can get in range to throw another rifle grenade potentially. And they have the captain backing them up that will be able to provide more firepower there with the bazooka. Oh no, the Puma gets stuck in the terrain. It's trying to move out of the way, but it is now right on top of everything. Vindicare says that pathing. And there goes his Puma. That is quite unfortunate. But that is, well, what happened. Anyways, so yeah. We now see Vindicare getting himself another Storm Pio squad. I'll help out, but yeah, the Volkskrans are 3, 1 Storm Pio and the Rakuten Warfare, so he did lose that, but at 9 command points, he has the ability to call in a Panzer IV combat group, so, you know, it's not completely bad. Captain moving over to the right-hand side. Going to be capturing that munitions. Center point munitions also being captured by the lieutenant. We do have a Volkskrans squad in the house, but with the rear echelon squad and rifle squad moving in to flank it from the other side, getting a lot of firepower in there, they will take a lot of damage. Rakuten Warfare takes up possession of this big warehouse, taking some shots at the captain. The captain does have bazookas, and the bazookas are shooting at the structure itself, so they may be able to take it down, although it is very healthy. And the shots do not seem to be impacting directly, doing a lot of damage to the structure, so it'll be a while before anything there collapses. Lieutenant on the left-hand side does manage to force away that Volkskrans squad with the support of the rear echelon and the rifle squads on the far left-hand side. A Volkskrans squad is going for the cab with a Storm Pio squad moving up to support it. Center map, Lieutenant pushes all the way forward to the strategic point in front of Vindicare's base. Vindicare still has nothing on the field as far as vehicle goes, but, well, neither does Romeo. Romeo did get himself a ambulance, but that is just simply to heal up his troops. Could be positioned a little bit better, maybe somewhere around here, so it could pop its healing ability and reinforce without needing to move them, but, you know, still fine. Up in the north, the lieutenant does get engaged by the Storm Pio squad. Can he make it out? Down to a sliver of hell, shots fly in his direction, but it looks like the man from the lieutenant squad will make it out. The lieutenant has long since died, but, well, there he goes. Rear echelon squad activating its volley fire inside the house, just taking massive amounts of damage. It is a very risky ability to use and not the prime situation to use it in, and it gets taken out inside the house. Remember, the rear echelon squad's volley ability makes them more vulnerable to fire, and I believe they just get hit more often. I believe, yeah, the accuracy modifier is what gets changed. So it is more of an ability intended for them to use while behind another squad that is, you know, absorbing their fire, like, for example, a rifle squad. So you have the rifle squad in front, the rear echelon squad, well, in the rear, and it opens up its volley fire on the squad, managing to get it suppressed in the long run and more damage on it. And yeah, but by itself, I mean, they changed that because by itself it was very good early on in the beginning stages of the game. Well, not the game, the Western Fronts. You could pretty much go toe-to-toe with any squad because you just pop your volley fire and get them pretty much instantly suppressed and then pinned down, and the squad would just continue to do damage. So they changed it, they tweaked it. It's not as good as it was before, but it's still a nice utility for them to have as a repair unit, I guess. Lieutenant rifle squad pushing up into the center, not really the exact center, but, you know, nearby. Volkskrans squad not able to really stop them. The SMG on the lieutenant and the bar rifle able to inflict a lot of damage. Rifle squad continue to push forward. Storm Pioneer squad getting in the way, trying to stop the onslaught of the approaching rifle squad. The rifle squad taking quite a bit of damage. Down to 5-man, but it makes it out. The rifle squad behind it and the lieutenant stay in the engagement. Going to be getting themselves into some heavy cover. The Storm Pio squad is in light cover, and with a third rifle squad moving up to engage, Romeo is able to push very aggressively with his troops and win those engagements. Some may call it blobbing, but not really. I mean, seems a nice staggered approach here. So, you know, squads just lining up and all going to the same direction, but, well, I guess it's debatable. Volksgren squads and a Storm Spy squad. What the hell did I say? Volks Grenadier squads and a Storm Pyro squad pushing in together over to the left-hand side, gonna make those troops retreat. They manage to stop the cap of the rifle squad from that point, force it to retreat very quickly. They do take a lot of damage on the retreat, but it's a full-man squad, so they'll be able to stay alive. Lieutenant over on the right-hand side, engaging the Rakuten Warfare, decides to retreat as well, as it is unable to flush it out. The 50 cal machine gun is back at base still. I don't think it has actually seen any action for quite a while. I'm not sure. Maybe it was over on the right-hand side and I didn't notice, but it did get forced away. And we see that Vindicare is floating a lot of manpower, up to 700, but the reason for that is because he now has 10 command points, in fact, and he is in prime position to get himself that combat group. I believe the combat group costs 210 fuel? Yeah, I believe it's 210, so it'll take him a little bit longer to be able to get it. But, I mean, if you want to know why he's floating the manpower right now, it's because of that. And if you notice, he's actually floating just around that. He's not letting it go past that. He continues to reinforce and get his units out, so, you know, it's not too bad of a thing. Left-hand side, Volksgrens just moving around. Going to recapture territory, as pretty much all the forces for Romeo were pushed away. Romeo, however, pushing his lieutenant out without getting reinforced. It is down to 3 men. Not going to be able to provide too much firepower in the engagement. A little bit too hasty there. May have benefited a little bit more from just waiting a couple more seconds and getting those reinforcements on there. But, well, sometimes you just can't wait and you got to get your troops out of there. That is why it's also a very nice option to push with your ambulance. It is one of my favorite abilities to do. Lieutenant does manage to execute one of the Volkswagen squad while the other one gets up in the house. And with the support of the 50 cal machine gun, they may be able to do that. Grenade goes off from the rifleman for Romeo. But they do not actually manage to inflict too much damage there. Second grenade goes off, as the lieutenant is able to throw a grenade. Volkswagen squad does make it out of there alive, however, so unfortunate their circumstance for Romeo, but I mean he's fine. So
Sherman dozers have reached the front line.
Ooh, Romeo selected his own doctrine, and that is the armor company. So with that, he'll be able to call in those Wolverines and the bulldozer Shermans. So we'll see what he does. It's a pretty cool vehicle.
We're losing a capture point. Squad numbers back to normal.
However, we can see that Vindicare is now in a very dominant position. We see him controlling more than half the map. Right-hand side is falling completely to his forces. Center map, the Volkswagen squad were going for the cap, but they do get pushed away by the lieutenant and the captain. And a lot of rifles. 2 rifles at the same time, so 4 squads in total. Storm Pyro squad putting up a front there. Managing to stop the cap. Oh, no. Romeo actually does not get the cap of his point. Takes a nasty grenade. Nicely placed there by the Volkswagen squad. Nails a lot of damage. Volkswagen's now at 4 as far as veterancy go. And the squad in front of them also able to stop. A grenade goes off in the distance, expecting the Volkswagen squad to maybe retreat or pull back, but Vindicare does not take the bait and holds strong and then retreats. And now all the forces for Romeo are pushing forward, trying to recapture some territory. But now we see that the combat group has been called in. These guys come in with veterancy. So we see one of the Panzer Force actually has veterancy 1. The other one is at about half veterancy. And it also gives them the ability, it's this one right here. No, not that one. Well, yeah, that one is the high explosive armor piercing rounds or anti-tank rounds. And this is like captain that you can do to be able to survey the battlefield. And actually this guy gets it. There you go, you can see the captain right on top of it. I forget what it does exactly. Sherman Bulldozer is on the field, however, but against 2 Panzer IVs, I don't think it will be able to win the engagement. So far, it doesn't look like we're going to see it. It is backing off as the call-in tanks are now in effect. Thankfully for Romeo, these guys are very expensive as far as a combat group goes. I mean, maybe not expensive individually. I don't know, but I mean, it is what I'm trying to say. It's a lot of fuel that you need. So it's 210 fuel So it's going to take a while for Vindicare to call in another group like that.
Point being captured.
And the bulldozer, I mean, it's 140, so I mean, it takes a while as well, but not as long. So
Damn crowd
he may be able to get himself a second Sherman bulldozer before another combat group comes in. So we'll see. In the meantime, however, Vindicare does control both of the fuels, so he's in prime position to take the game. Splits up its combat group, covering both areas. I mean, both victory points that are getting captured, center map and left-hand side. Rifles and the bulldozer all pushing together. The pathing is not helping the bulldozer here. He's moving around, crushing terrain, trying to open his way as the Sherman is moving itself back. Something around here blew up. It was a mine. A mine! So the bulldozer gets decrewed a little bit here. The guys are... Oh! Oh no! The crews are getting attacked. Down to 2 men. They need to get in. No! Oh no, the bulldozer has been decrewed. He needs to get a rifle squad right on top of it and get it inside the Sherman bulldozer to not lose it. The Panzer IV is actually blocking the path here for Vindicare. He's gonna go for it. Oh, he goes for the steal. The Sherman bulldozer is now in the hands of VindicareX. LOL, says Romeo. GG. He knows that is game and throws in the towel. So Vindicare with the ninja cap of the Sherman bulldozer. And that pretty much ends the game. Up in the front line, I mean, the troops were getting a little bit battered here. Not, not game over or anything, but wow. There you go. So with the German bulldozer Sherman, I hope you guys enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys had a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.